Hi everyone, welcome back to the session. Let's start understanding what are variables in JavaScript. So let's start with the definition. So variables are containers that stores data or information. So if you want to store any sort of data, which could be a number, it could be a string, or you can say text type, or it could be just a true or a false, right? So that sort of information you need to store by creating a variable and then assigning the respective value to it. So let me just show you an example. So let's say we have this box and we have given a name to this box. What is the name here? It's age. And then we are storing a value inside the box, which is 30. So similarly in JavaScript as well, whenever you want to store any sort of information, any value or any data, you will create a variable. You will give that variable a variable name and then you will assign the respective value to it. All right. And then later on in your program, whenever you want to use this value, you can just refer the variable name and then you'll be able to use this value. Now let's just go ahead and start creating some variables. I'll go to my JavaScript file and let's say I want to store some information about a person. So I'll create some variables, person name, and I'll assign a value to it, Robert. Let me create another one. Let age is equals to 30, and then we'll create another one is student, and let's just keep it as true. So you can see that I have created three variables. What is the variable name here? For the first one, the variable name is person name, and what's the value? It's Robert. The second one, variable name is age, the value is 30. Third one, the variable name is student, and the value is true. Okay, so in JavaScript, you don't have to specifically mention here that what kind of data type you are storing inside the variable. So you just need to use let, const, or var. We will discuss about that later on, but just remember that you don't have to specifically mention whether it is a number or it is a string or if it is a boolean. Okay, now the second thing is that when you are assigning the value, you need to keep in mind how you are going to assign the value. So for example, if it is a text or a string value, then I have to enclose that value in single quotes, or I can use double quotes as well, or in fact we can use backtick as well here. Okay, so that will actually, so that just to mention that the value is a string value, and if it's a number value, then you don't have to use the quotes. All right, and if it's a boolean value that you want to store, which is always going to return you either true or false, then you have to assign either true or false. Okay, now let's just console all these three and see the result. So console, as in we haven't done anything here, so we are just going to print the value. Let's just go ahead and log these values and see it. So person name, and let me first include this JavaScript file in the HTML file, otherwise it won't show up. And then script.js, let me save this and then let's go back. All right, so here you can see the person name. Now let's just log the age as well. Okay, now you can see the age. You keep an eye on the console and then we'll log is student. Okay, and here you can see all the three values. For example, if I switch it to false, it will show me false. Okay, and here if I change it to, let's say, 35, it will show me 35. Okay, here if I change it to Alice, it will show me the updated name. This is how you can create the variables and assign the values. All right, so in your program, whatever code you write, if you use this variable, then it is always going to take this value. If you use this variable, it will take this value, and if you use this variable, it is going to take this value, right? Whatever you have assigned to it. Now there are different ways of actually declaring the variable. So either you can do it, let me just write it over here. So you can do it with using let or const, or you can use var. So this is one of the oldest methods. So nowadays you will, any new code that you would see in JavaScript, you will see only let and const getting used. So we are only going to discuss about let and const for now. Okay, about var we can discuss it later on. So let me tell you what's the difference between let and const over here. Okay, so if you see that these variable names I have declared using let. So what happens if I redeclare the same? Not exactly redeclare, but if, let's say, if I update something here, right? So here I'll just copy person name. So right now if you see the person name is Alice, right? So let's say if I just assign another value to it, right? Let's say Rob, and then save it. So you can see the name got updated, right? And let's say similarly if I give another age, let's say 22, okay? So the age will get updated, and if I change the third variable value as well to true, so this will also get updated. So what does it mean? It means that if you are declaring any variable by using let, that means that variable can be changed, the value can be updated later on. So anybody can go ahead and override the value by just reassigning the values to these variable names, right? But when you're using const, that means the values are not going to get changed. So for example, if I just make it as const, right? So you see it is throwing an error. Assignment to const variable, right? So basically we have made person name as const. That means person name cannot be updated. Okay, so I'll remove this, and if I save this, you will see all the three values. Similarly, if I make the age as const, you will again see the error. So basically anything that has been declared with const, that cannot be changed. Okay, that is just going to be constant. Whatever initially you have declared and assigned the value, nobody can update that value. Now let's talk about naming conventions. Naming conventions for variables by taking another example. So I'm going to declare a few other variables. Let x is equals to, let's say, 100, and then I'll say let y Alex, and then let's say let z is equals to. I think just by looking at this, you will understand that why naming convention is very important, right? So first of all, whatever variable name that you're creating, it should be sensible enough, right? So just by looking at this, you will not understand that what is it that I'm trying to declare here, right? Although these are valid, these are not invalid, right? But at least whenever you are writing a program, you should always give some sensible name so that when you proceed with the program, or let's say somebody else tries to modify the code, or any other developer is working with you, they should be able to understand that, okay, these are the variables that you have defined and why you have defined those, right? Just by looking at the name. So for example, here, if I make it as price, okay, now it makes sense, okay, that this might be some price. And here, if I give it as username, this makes sense now. And here, if I say is logged in, this also makes sense now. Let's just quickly log these three. So I'll just log price, and I'll also log username, and I'm going to also log is logged in. You can see all the three values. Now there are some naming convention rules that I want to talk about. So let me just put it in the comment, and then I'll mention one by one. So the first rule is that you should always try and declare your variable by using camel case. Okay. So for example, if you have a variable name which is a combined one with different words, for example, this one, right, is logged in. So you need to start with a small letter. So I have kept the I as small letter, and then logged L is capital, and then in I is capital. Okay. Similarly with username, U is small and N is capital. Okay. So this is called camel casing. And the next rule is that it is always case sensitive. Okay. So for example, here we have username, correct? And let's say if I am trying to access this by, if I make it small and let me run this. So you see I have an error now. It says username is not defined. This is not found here, right? Because JavaScript is case sensitive. So you need to use it. If you want to refer to this, then you need to keep in mind about the case sensitiveness. So now this will work. The third point is variable name cannot start with a number. So if I want to, let's say, give it as 9 or any number if I want, right? You see it gave me the error here itself. An identifier or keyword cannot immediately follow a numeric literal. Okay, so you cannot define a variable name starting with a number. So all you can use can use letters and dollar sign and an underscore. Okay, so for example, if I give it like this would work. Let me save this, and you still see the value, right? It didn't throw any error. And similarly, if I give it as start with underscore, this will also be okay. So here also you still see the value, there are no errors. But as I said, right, you should try and not start any variable names with dollar sign or underscore. It's always the best to start with letters to keep it simple as possible. And there's another point that you shouldn't be using the reserved keywords. So there are few reserved keywords that is used by JavaScript. Okay, so you shouldn't be using that. For example, function. Okay, don't use this. Control set. Let me just type it. Okay, so for example, you are not supposed to use the reserved, because function is a reserved keyword, okay, in JavaScript. So you shouldn't be using it. So variable declaration not allowed at this location, right? It will not allow you to use any reserved keyword. So for example, there is another keyword called this, which is also used by JavaScript. Okay, so this is a reserved keyword as well. So you're not supposed to use any of the reserved keywords in your variable declaration. Okay, so let's just make it back to price, and that's it. Now there are few other different things that you can do. So let me just create another variable here. I'll just say let discount is equal to, let's say, 10. Okay, so there are few things that can be done here. So let me log the value and show you. So if I do something like this, here I'll just say final price is, okay, and here I'll just mention price minus what is it, discount, and then save it. So you see, so these kind of mathematical operations you can do, okay, with the variables, right? If you have created the variables and you have assigned values, so these kind of things will work. So similarly, for example, let's say if I have here, let's say let first name is equals to Peter, and I'll give the second name as well. Second name is equal to, let's say, Parker. Okay, so here I can log the full name. Okay, so full name is the first name, and we can concatenate just by using plus. Okay, so second name and then save it. So here you see now we need a space in between, right? So plus, okay, space. All right, so now there's a space. Okay, so this is how you can concatenate two values, or you can also use any sort of mathematical operations over here, so that will work as well. Okay, so there's one more thing here. So let's say if you want to do something like this, let me log this, and let's say if I want to print the final price is, but I want to show the final price here itself. I don't want to display it like this. Okay, so what will I do? First of all, I need the result. Okay, so I'll create another variable. So let's say let final price, and how do I calculate the final price? By doing this, right? Price minus discount, and I'll just do this. So I know that I have the result in the final price. So can I use it directly like this? Of course not, right? See, it doesn't print anything. So there's a way to get the value. So you need to use dollar and then curly brackets. Okay, but now also you won't see the value. You are just going to see whatever you have typed in. But if you want to append the values like this, what you can do is, instead of this, you need to use the backticks. Okay, so you need to enclose this inside the backtick. So let me just cut it out and remove this, and here, right? Now you'll see the final price. So this is the advantage of using back. Let me show you one more thing. So what if I want to print these values over here, right? So how do I do that? So let me just go ahead and clear this out first, and I'll go to my HTML file and I'll include some p tags over here. So this is my, over here I'm going to create few p tags and I'll give it some ID. So let's just give it the ID as, let's say, price, and then I'll create another one, and I will give this one the ID as, what was the other thing? It was username, and then I'll create another one, and then I'll just say logged in or something, like, you can give any name you want for the ID. You just need to remember that, like, where you want to display what. Now let's say I want to print the price over here. So how do I do that? So first of all, I want to display the price for this p tag here, okay, which I don't have anything here right now. Okay, so if I type it anything, I'll type in anything, so it just shows me some text, but I don't want to display this text, right? I want to display the price that I have in the JavaScript file. So I'll remove this, and then I'll just take the ID, and let's just go back to the JavaScript. So the first thing that we'll do is, let's just declare the variable. So this price is this is something that you can declare anything that you want. Okay, it's the name is not similar to this. So I know that these kind of confusions happen when you're a beginner. So this has nothing. So let me just give it something as like this, price ID. So now I think it should be fine. Okay, so I'll just take the price as this, and then let username is equal to, let's say, Alex, and then I'll give let is logged in, and then here I'll say true. Okay, now I want to display this price in place of this p. Okay, this p tag, the placeholder that I've created. So here I want the dynamic value, right? Dynamic as in the value that's in the JavaScript. Okay, so here what will I do? I have this price ID, and here I'm going to go and do this document dot get element by ID. And what's the ID? This is the ID, and I will change the inner text. So inner text is what? This price. Okay, so if I display this price, you see we are able to see the price, right? And similarly, we can display the information for the other two. So this was price, and what's the ID of this one? Username, and here I'll give it as username, and here what is the username here? It's the same, but it's fine. And then this one, logged in, I'll go back, and here I'll use logged in, and here it is logged in. Okay, and then save. So here I can see the price, I can see the username, and I can see the value, and the backtick thing that we just learned, right? So we can use that over here. So if I use backtick, and let's just take this, and I'll say the price is, and I'll use dollar symbol and then curly brackets, and inside that I'll just print the price and save. So you see the price is this, and similarly I can do the same with this. So I'll just use backticks, and then I'll take this, the username is dollar symbol curly brackets, and inside that we'll just paste the value. Okay, and similarly for this backtick, and I'll take this this, and here we'll type in the login info is dollar curly brackets and then inside this and save. Okay, so don't worry about all these things. Just remember that if you want to access any element from the HTML file, this is how you do it. Okay, document dot, and if you have defined ID to the elements, then you can use that ID to access that particular element in the JavaScript. So that's what I've done. Okay, document dot get element by ID, and then we'll mention the ID in single quotes, and then dot, after that dot we can change any property that we want. So we just wanted to change the text. Okay, and then whatever we assign it to, it will just display over here. All right, so that's all in the variables, and I'll see you in the next one.